attitude, what do you know about them for sure? That what?
They want something that they're not getting.
There's something that they're not getting. There's a goal that they're not achieving. And so as a person who is trying to be helpful, you then have a two-part role, right? The easiest thing to help someone have a good attitude is to do what? Help them achieve their goal. Give them what they want. Power to the people. Give the people what they want. OJs. Oh, anybody OJs in the house? Right? So give people what they want. It's the easiest way to help them get a good attitude. But what if what they want is not something that they can do? It's not something they have resources for. It's not something that you can help them with. Then what becomes your responsibility as a helper? To what?
Help them change their goals.
To help them change their goal. Right? Because if I give somebody my goal, what are they going to say about that? It's not going to work, right? It's not, I don't want to do that. It could be something they really want to do, but just because I said it, I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not me, right? But if you help them figure out what their goal is, then they can change it. All right? Any questions so far? Okay. So, what is it that is the ultimate goal that human beings have? All right? So, no matter where you come from, you're trying to achieve these central things, these central goals. And what everyone is trying to strive for is significance, belonging, and safety. The slide before was Abraham's hierarchy of needs, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're boiled down here to 3 because this is Alfred Adler's approach to what human beings need, right? So we're always looking for significance. Significance says that my life has purpose. I'm not here by accident. There's something that I was put on this earth to do, and that is what significance is talking about. Belonging says, not only do I have purpose, but I do better with my purpose when I'm around people that I can share my purpose with, and that they can share their purpose with me. And safety says that I'm in an environment that will allow me to practice and to live and to develop my significance, right? So we're all looking for significance, safety, and belonging. Now here is where, again, we get confused or we get baffled by these illusions of differences, and we don't necessarily get to see these in people. So for example, there's this thought that that intelligence is on a bell curve throughout the planet. Right? So these scientists got together and they said, this group is more intelligent than this group, and this group is more intelligent than that group, and this group is less intelligent, and all this kind of stuff. But anytime they do these experiments, I always find it interesting that the people doing the studies are always towards the top of whatever the good stuff is. Right? So it doesn't even matter what it is, but they're always close to the top. And so one of the things that I think is important is that we remember that this is what people are after, but how they get it is determined on where they came from and how they got to understand what this is. So, for example, if I took is anyone been on a farm or knows about farming at all? Okay, cool. What are some of the things that you need to know to be good on a farm? What are some things? What's that?
Milk a cow.
How to milk a cow. That's a helpful thing to know on a farm. What else?
How to fix equipment.
How to fix equipment. That's an important thing. What else?
How to operate heavy machinery.
How to operate heavy machinery. Those are important skills to learn. So that could be considered an intelligence, right? So that's a type of knowledge that is important to know on a farm. But what would happen if I took a farmer from greater Minnesota and I put him in downtown Manhattan?
They'd freak out.
They would freak out. What would the people in New York say about this farmer?
Not intelligent.
They would say he's not intelligent. What else would he say? Would they say? He's dumb. What else?
I said he's a hillbilly.
Oh, he's a hillbilly. He's what?
Useless.
He's useless. Those are all the things that they would say about this intelligent farmer in Minnesota. But now he's in downtown Manhattan and
He's lost.
he's lost, right? But what would happen if I took a person from downtown Manhattan and I put him on a farm in greater Minnesota?
They'd be all the same thing. Gucci heels.
They would be, what was that?
They cry when they wreck their Gucci heels.
Yes, they cry when they wreck their Gucci heels. They might say the same thing, that this person's an idiot, blah, blah, blah. Well, and my granddad had an expression, what do you do with a dog that doesn't hunt? You shoot it, right? So when my grandfather's from, they would be shot, right? Because they're no good. Okay. All right. But are they less smart or more smart than the other? No.
Either or they're just out of their element.
They're just out of their element. And so it always cracks me up when I hear people talk about, well, these immigrants need to learn the language. They need to speak the language. Immigrants speak. Right? The thing I think is so funny is that most of our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents were immigrants. And English was not their first language. So I want you to just think about that. Because what people are trying to do is get significance, belonging, and safety. And where they come from allows them either greater access or they just need a little more time to figure out what it means to be here. All right? But we're all looking for significance, belonging, and safety. All right? So with that, what I'd like for you to do is there is a chart inside your handbook. Under the pictures of my family, there's a chart. That looks like I passed it. Okay, anyway, you'll figure it out. So, under the pictures of my family, and this is something to also remember, and we're going till 7, right? Where am I now?
7:30.
It's 7:30. So I have how much time left?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? No, seriously. How much time?
About 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes? Okay, cool. I just lost track of where I was.
Sure.
So, because we didn't start like right at the top of the hour, so I got, well, this is not good. So this is what I'd like for you to do. In this diagram, here across the top in the gray area, you see columns of groups, right? So it says African Americans, European Americans, Latino, Latina Americans, Asian Americans, Disabled Americans, and Native Americans. And then on the side, it says parents and family, friends, school and workplace, TV and movies, and personal experience. What I'd like for you to do is to tell me what the groups in blue taught you about those groups in gray. But I want you to do it in a particular kind of way. I want you to put a plus where you learn something positive about a group of people. I want you to put a minus where you learn something negative about a group of people. And I want you to put a 0 where you didn't learn anything at all, or you never had that as a discussion. All right? So I want to give you about a minute and a half or so to do that. So for example, parents and family about African Americans, I learned positives. From friends about Native Americans, it's a 0. We never talked about Native Americans. For TVs and movies around people with disabilities, I put a negative. And stop. I want you to look at the rest of that is for homework, right? So I want you to think about the pluses and minuses and zeros and where you have those and why you might have those. But more importantly, what I am curious about is, do you, as you were filling out those boxes, were there any emotions that were stirred up for you, or any thoughts that you had that this activity sparked? And what were they?
Kind of reevaluate some of the people, like friends, and for instance, in different ethnicities, if they talk negatively about one and not the other, it kind of makes you think like I should be correcting them or.
Okay, so maybe you should be correcting those folks? Yes, sir.
Well, struck me the most is the zeros that I had. Like, growing up, Asian Americans was never a part of a family conversation or friend conversation.
Okay.
Negatively or positively,
just wasn't a part of the conversation.
It's almost like it didn't exist to us.
Okay, almost as if they didn't exist. Other folks?
It changes from what I was raised around with my family, my friends, to what I personally do.
Yep. So the changes between what you were brought up with and then the personal decisions that you've made, the choices that you've made. All right, other folks, emotions or thoughts?
Well, I have deceased family members who are very prejudiced and bigoted in many ways. You know, you grow up with that kind of exposure, and then when you get out to the real world and you kind of see that, you know what, they were kind of full of crap. So, I mean, really, it's kind of, you know, if you're big enough within yourself to kind of be open to new experiences, finding out exactly, you know, what do you know, try to filter what you heard in the past, maybe what you learned was wrong, you know, find out that there's more to the world around you than what you maybe learned growing up.
Yeah. And what I will tell you, I will offer this to you, and I said this before, but I want to reiterate it. I want to say it again, just so I'm crystal clear, that you're growing up, the people who helped raise you did the best they could with what they had. And it was going to be inadequate. Whatever it was they were going to do was going to be inadequate to prepare you for this world. Right? My parents were pretty savvy folks. They taught me about stranger danger and how not to get kidnapped, but they could have never taught me about sexting. Right? They could have never taught me about meth. We could have never sat down and had a conversation about meth because those things didn't exist. So whatever your parents did or didn't do or could have done better, you're probably right, but they didn't because it was the best they could do. However, it is not our fault that we were raised that way, but it now becomes our responsibility. All of our cars have blind spots. We didn't put them there, but they are our responsibility to make sure that we cover them, right? And so what I want you to walk out of this room with is I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to walk out in despair about what you did or didn't know or where you are. But what I want you to do is to make a decision about what kind of life you want to live. Who are the people that you want to have around you? What kind of people? One of the things that we've done really bad with our children is we ask them this stupid question. What do you want to be when you grow up? I'm 42. I still don't know. But what's more important than what you want to be when you grow up is how you want to be when you grow up. And so I ask you, when we talk about this diversity stuff, how do you help people get their significance, their belonging, and their belief? How do you engage people in a learning process? How do you help change attitudes? How do you change your own attitude? What kind of person do you